Hey, yo, welcome back to Right at the Wire. Well, it's a big weekend at the fairgrounds. We've got the Fairgrounds Oaks as well as the Louisiana Derby, Oaks and Derby preps respectively. And we've also got a lot of stakes races, including a really special one, the New Orleans Classic. It's a grade two, ninth race on Saturday's card, running a mile and an eighth for 4-year-olds and up. And when you see the field, you'll know why. The return of Sierra Leone, number seven, the Breeders' Cup Classic winner, horse of the year. This is a marking his return, so that alone makes this a special race. But we've also got a lot of good horses in this race. Touch Upon a Star, the Louisiana bred. You just have to love a horse like this. He brings it every single time. We've got a couple from the Mine Shaft Hall of Fame who won the race. Maycox Bay, in Como Robino Amoide, say that three times fast. Brad Cox is bookending the field with a couple, Kinetic and Bishop's Bay, who we all remember from the Derby Trail a couple years back. We've got San Siro and Uno Mas Bourbon, a couple of later runners, and Tarantino coming in from the West Coast. So this is a really pretty darn good field. And we'll take a look at them one at a time. First and foremost, Touch Upon a Star. This will be the speed of the race. This is what he does. Look at his fractions. He likes to just gun it, and he sticks around to win quite a bit. He's never been out of the money in his entire career. You have to love horses like this. Doesn't show any signs of slowing down at 6 years old, and I really like this horse, and I think he can win this race. We're going to talk about why, obviously Sierra Leone's the horse to beat. We're not going to have any delusions about that, but we'll talk about that in a second. Tarantino, coming from the West Coast, pretty much likes to do the same thing as Touch Upon a Star, but Touch Upon a Star is to the inside, and if Tarantino tries to stay with him, he's shown that on the West Coast he wilts quite often, and I don't think he's a match for Touch Upon a Star, so I'm going to throw him out. Now, we start to get to the pressers. Kinetic is one. I always get nervous with Brad Cox horses when he manages them as carefully as he is with this one. Look at the way he goes from maiden to allowance to N2X to ungraded stakes, and he hasn't moved him up into graded stakes yet. And, Brad Cox horses, usually when they show something in the maiden and maybe another race after that, they're in a graded stakes or they're in a claimer. It's one or the other. And this one, he's just sort of gradually kept moving up. Now, he looks like he has quality for sure, and this is a very big class test, but I can't see where he can make a move that's going to beat Touch Upon a Star or Sierra Leone. I think he can probably get underneath. He looks like he's got some talent, but that would be the extent of it. I just can't see him as one that's really going to put it all together and win this race. Now, Hall of Fame is getting Lasix, and we know that's the key to Hall of Fame. It seems to be. He's much better on Lasix than without it. In the Mine Shaft, what bothered me about that race was the fractions were pretty soft on a track that was kind of speed favoring a bit. Now, he closed and won the race. He just made it. And, that was impressive. But, he's not going to get that here. It's a very different scenario with Touch Upon a Star in this race. So he's going to have to be really moving early. And I have a feeling that's going to sap a little bit of his ability to close. So I like him to finish in the money. But I just think the presence of Touch Upon a Star is going to make things kind of difficult for Hall of Fame. If he's good enough, he's going to have to take a big move forward. He'll tactically be in a good position, but I just think the pace scenario makes things very difficult for him. For Maycox Bay, being by Spikestown, I think a mile and an eighth is just too far. He's been proven in his last couple that once the class level rises at a mile and a 16th or at two-turn distances, you see that he hasn't been able to sustain his run. Now, he went to the lead last time and he set very soft fractions and he still couldn't hang in there. Well, he's going to have the complete opposite here. He's not going to be able to control things. That's going to be Touch Upon a Star, who's going to be moving entirely too fast for Maycox Bay's liking. So I'm throwing out Maycox Bay. Komorobino Amoide has kind of made a believer out of me. This is a nice horse. But note, his last two, he's wilted in the stretch, had every chance to win and couldn't quite do it. I like him. He brings it every time. But you look at that and then couple it with the kind of pace he's going to have to run here. I think you're probably looking at the same. I think he's a horse that can finish in the money because I like his persistence and his competitiveness. But I would say that would be the extent of my interest. Bishop's Bay, we all remember because he beat in first mission at Fairgrounds. I believe it might have been on Louisiana Derby or Risen Star Weekend, can't remember which, but kind of plateaued after that. You know, he started making a little bit of rumblings and never quite got over the top. And then he had some time off. He's hurt. He's come back, and you notice he's been running in optional claimers, and he's been doing pretty well. But this is a big step up, and he just doesn't look to me like a horse has really progressed the way Brad Cox horses normally do. From the 10 hole, with the kind of pace he's going to have to run at, he's a hard horse for me to like, and I'm throwing out. Now, San Siro, I don't think can win this race. He's not fast enough, but his running style, he should be coming from the clouds, and with the pace being pretty quick, I think he's a good candidate to spice up your trifecta or your super. That would be the extent of it, and so you throw him in there just to get underneath. Uno Mas Bourbon, you could probably do the same thing if you want. Throw him underneath for the try of the super, but I never like it when I see multiple closers in a race, especially when he has the likes of Sierra Leone right next to him. This horse isn't good enough either. He is going to have the pace in his favor, but I think it would be a real tall order even with that for him to win. But underneath, if you want to use him at a price, totally understand it. Now let's talk about Sierra Leone. He, obviously put it all together at the right time in the Breeders' Cup Classic. And it seems like he may have worked out all those nagging problems that precluded him from winning races. We can, I don't have to recount them. You guys know them all. But here's the thing I'm thinking. Now, first of all, this is not the big payday that Chad Brown's been pointing this horse for. There's others down the road. We know this. And we also know that Chad Brown likes to train in sequence. So first, second, third. Third being the ultimate race. So you put all that together, this may be the time to beat Sierra Leone. He is the best horse in this race, without a doubt. I don't need I don't need to say it. You guys all know that. But I do find it curious that he's getting Lasix for the first time. He's obviously doesn't need it. So I just wonder a little, just kind of, I don't know why they would do it, but Chad Brown certainly knows better than I do. But I'm just thinking if this is sort of a tune-up race, to get him in gear, maybe he's not 100% for this race. He has come off the bench to run well in the past. That's absolutely true. And he may not need his best race to win this. That's also true. But given Touch Upon a Star in this race, who will tactically be exactly where he wants to, and, where he can put away a lot of these horses who will be chasing him, I think, and the fact that Touch Upon a Star is just, never out of the money, maybe this is the time you beat Sierra Leone. That's all. Can he, if you want to put Sierra Leone on top, I totally get it. I think it's one of these two. I don't see anybody else who's good enough to beat them. Not at their current state. If they take a major move forward, perhaps, maybe Hall of Fame, but he's going to have to make a big move forward. And I didn't see enough from that last race, again, to get real excited. And then the rest of them, I just don't see it. So to me, it's one of these two. So we look at our wagering strategy. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go with Touch Upon a Star. Going to get a little bit better price. Not much, but a little bit, than Sierra Leone. And we'll just go 5-7, 7-5. I can't, neither one of them ever been out of the money. So I don't expect that again is going to happen. So then for the trifecta, we'll go 5-7, 5-7, 1, 2, 3, 9. You want to throw in Uno Mas Bourbon in there? I get it. Go ahead. And then we'll go 5-7 with 1-2-3-9 with 5-7 in the event. Probably, if either one of them just falls a little bit short or gets caught, we'll go with a saver there. And again, I don't think Uno Mas Bourbon could finish second under any circumstances, but you want to throw them in there for shits and giggles, go ahead. But anyway, I think it's a 2-horse race. It's got a nice dynamic. You've got a front runner confirmed against a dead closer, so the irresistible force against the immovable object. It's going to make for a really fun race, without a doubt, and very anxious to see Sierra Leone in his return. So I hope our analysis helps you with your own wagering strategy, and I wish you the best of luck as always. And certainly if you do like content like this, please like and subscribe. Thanks to all of you who continue to grow this community and those of you who have been with us all along. Happy to have you all for the remainder of the Derby Trail and the Thoroughbred racing season and beyond. We're going to have more postings. We've got individual postings out now for the Louisiana Derby as well as the Fairground Oaks and our Kentucky Derby Top 20. We're also going to have a Pick 5, late Pick 5, all stakes selection posting for the Fairgrounds. And we'll do a full card selection post with best bets and value plays as well. And we may throw something in for Turfway. We've already got one out for the Jeff Ruby Stakes, but we may take a little deeper dive into that card as well. Turfway is always a very fun race, a fun track to bet. It can be frustrating, but you can also find some really great value. So perhaps we'll take a look at that. So that's it from here. I'll talk to you soon, and until then, be well.